Welcome back. I'm Kyle Pacheco, one of the managers here at Lane Gorman Trubitt. I serve as one of the leaders in the construction niche here. In step one, we discussed identifying the contract with the customer. This is a really important step within the overall new revenue recognition method because this involves identifying all the rights and obligations for each of the parties in the contract. Now we're going to hop into step two, which is identifying the performance obligations that exist within the contract. The really important first step of this is to actually identify what a performance obligation is. A performance obligation is defined as a promised good or service within the contract. Every contract will have at least one performance obligation, and some contracts may have multiple performance obligations embedded within them. What factors should you consider when making this judgment call? Performance obligations should be separated if they are considered distinct. To be considered distinct, the customer cannot benefit from the good or service on its own or with other readily available resources, and the promise to transfer the good and services is separately identifiable from the other goods or services that exist within the contract. This really comes down to if construction was stopped within the middle of the project, could the customer take control of that building or that constructed asset and really derive some sort of benefit from it? Or could they replace the current contractor that's working on that job without incurring significant costs to finish that building and create that final constructed asset? Some common examples of performance obligations that would be considered distinct within the contract would consist of master service or construction services that involve separate POs for each scope of work, operation and maintenance contracts, and warranties. Performance obligations should be combined if any of the following conditions are met. First, there is a significant service of integrating goods or services to provide a combined output contracted for by the customer. Second, one or more of the goods or services modifies or customizes one of the other goods or services in the contract. And lastly, the goods or services are highly interdependent or highly interrelated. So some common examples that would result in the need to combine all the performance obligations into a single performance obligation would be your typical construction management contract or your design build contract. With both of these types of contracts, you're providing a service to the customer and taking all these different scopes of work and combining them all to provide the single output that the customer desires, and that's the final construction asset or building. When making the decision to combine the performance obligations or keep them separate, it's really important to just look back at the contract and see what the customer expects from the contract and what they are going to be able to receive benefit from. It is important that you have a trusted advisor by your side when dealing with this new revenue recognition and all of the contracts with customers. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. We'll be happy to help you.